All right, so I feel like here lately we've been seeing every sort of fragrance companies, or at least every sort of, clone house company making their interpretations of Jean Paul Gaultier's Male Elixir. So what I have here today is two of those fragrances, and I'm just going to be kind of going over which one of these I think is better just overall, for at least in my opinion, and then also kind of giving you all a breakdown of one of the fragrances that I haven't actually gone over on this channel yet. All right. So the fragrance that I'm referring to is Fragrance World's Urban Man Elixir. And then we'll also be kind of comparing it, side by side to Lattafa's The Kingdom, as well as obviously the original from Jean Paul Gaultier. So this is the presentation for Urban Man Elixir. You get the name of the fragrance here on the front of the box, and that's really all you get. You kind of get this like gold and black sort of textured design all around the entire bottle, the entire box. And then Fragrance World logo up top, Fragrance World logo, and then the authenticity sticker here. You get the ingredients. And then this is a 90 ml bottle, all right? And you get the barcode and production date on the bottom of the box. This particular bottle was produced in December of 2024. And then you can see here the actual presentation of the bottle. This basically, it looks similar, you could say, to like the Jean Paul Gaultier bottles. Definitely it's going to look a lot different for sure, but you can see kind of like what the look is that they're going for. Now this also does have like one of those like pins that you kind of stick underneath like the collar here to make sure that you can't spray it. But that thing, after pulling it off like maybe the third time, like the chain on it just broke, so I just threw it away. But one thing that I can say about the actual bottle here from Fragrance World is this seems to have a much better sprayer than what the Lattafa's The Kingdom has. So the sprayer on this is definitely, it's like a fire hydrant compared to Lattafa's The Kingdom. So that's definitely the main thing that I really liked about this fragrance over The Kingdom, was just the sprayer. It really sprays out a lot of juice, has a really nice distribution on it. It just smells a lot, or it feels a lot more premium to spray than what, Lattafa's The Kingdom does. So that is that. All right, now if you're not familiar with like the notes of Male Elixir, in the top notes of Male Elixir, you get lavender and mint. In the mid, you get vanilla and benzoin. And then in the base, you get honey, tonka bean, and tobacco. Now, this fragrance, the Urban Man Elixir, when you first spray this on, this does have lesser of an emphasis on one of the top notes, just like how Lattafa did, except to me, it's the opposite, that Lattafa has. So with the Lattafa, I felt like when you first sprayed this on, the mint was definitely toned down a lot more in the Lattafa. Whereas with the Urban Man Elixir, to me, I feel like the lavender is toned down in this, which the lavender is actually the part of the opening that I do actually like a lot. I feel like the mint in this is like basically the same, or it's on the same level as what you get from the original, Male Elixir, but it's missing that kind of sweet sort of lavender that you get, that kind of gives it like almost kind of like a barbershop fougere type of feel. That to me is missing a little bit within the Urban Man Elixir. Now, as the fragrance starts to dry down, it to me does seem to be a little bit closer to just like the overall feel of the original Male Elixir than what, Lattafa's The Kingdom is. But at least, again, in the initial opening, I do really prefer the way that The Kingdom comes across, because it has just the right amount of mint to, not really be, I guess, annoying. And it still keeps that lavender that I really do enjoy. Just for whatever reason, the way that the mint comes across in like the original Male Elixir, I'm just not really that much of a fan of. So I really don't enjoy the opening of the original fragrance really that much at all. I do feel like I do enjoy the openings of both of these fragrances more than what I do the original Male Elixir. But I think if I were to have to choose between, the opening of either this or, this, I would definitely have to go with the Kingdom in terms of, what I prefer for the opening. Now, once you get past that opening spray and you start to get more kind of into like the vanilla, the honey aspects of the fragrance, the tonka bean, the tobacco, I do feel like the Urban Man Elixir, it seems to be, again, closer to what the original fragrance smells like. The Lattafa, to me, in the dry down, it just seems to have a little bit more vanilla than what the, original fragrance has. So it definitely, it comes off as a little bit more kind of sweeter for sure. And then, the tobacco is not as prominent in the Kingdom as what it is in the original fragrance. So, I think if you're looking for something that is, closer to the original fragrance, just overall, I do think that you would kind of have to go with Urban Man Elixir. Just know that, again, in that initial opening, you are not going to get as much lavender in the initial opening in Urban Man Elixir than what you get in the original fragrance. But after that, which, that really only lasts for probably the first 3 to 5 minutes or so. After that, you get a fragrance that smells almost identical for the most part to, Male Elixir. So for the price that this goes for, the quality on this is actually really, really good. Really, the quality on both of these are extremely good, for the price that you pay for them. But I do actually believe that Urban Man Elixir actually goes for a little bit cheaper typically than what the Kingdom does. The lowest that I've really seen the Kingdom go for is like $30 on Triple Traders. And for the longest time, they've been sold out of this fragrance on there. Whereas the Urban Man Elixir on Fragrance Buy, I believe it's like $27. So, that is definitely, the better deal. And again, this does seem to be a little bit more accurate to the original fragrance than what, the Kingdom is. Now, again, I don't think you can go wrong with either one of these fragrances. So I would say if you have the Kingdom, I don't necessarily think it makes sense for you to go out and, also purchase this fragrance. I think, once you finish the Kingdom, if you want to try Urban Man Elixir, then, so be it. But I wouldn't necessarily go out and purchase this because this seems to be a little bit more accurate to the original than what the Kingdom is. Like I said, I would just finish the bottle, and then if you want to try the other fragrance, then, go ahead and do that. I also don't think it makes sense to, keep both fragrances either. Now, maybe if you're just somebody who really, really loves the scent profile and this is like all you wear all day, every day, then I guess maybe. But, again, I would say if you have one, you really don't need to purchase the other. And, also if you have some of the other interpretations, so like, even though I haven't smelled it, but I would say, probably if you have the Rayhan version, or if you've just picked up the Rasasi Hawas Elixir, more than likely those fragrances are also going to smell very, very similar to these. So, again, if you have one of those, it doesn't necessarily make sense to me to go out and, get one of these other ones, you know, until you've actually finished the bottle that you have. All right. That's just me anyway. So I don't plan to keep both of these fragrances. I will definitely be selling one of them. Which one, I don't know yet. But I won't be keeping both of these for sure. All right. I do really love this scent profile. It is a very, very nice, versatile, mass appealing, you know, type of scent. But again, I'm not going to be keeping both of these bottles. It just doesn't make sense for me to. Now, in terms of the performance on the Urban Man Elixir, the performance is actually very good. So each time that I've worn this Urban Man Elixir, I've easily gotten, you know, over 10 hours of total longevity with this. So performance on it is very good, but the performance is about the same, I would say, with the Lattafa as well. So neither one of these you're going to be disappointed with in terms of the, you know, overall longevity. Now, I do think the longevity on the Lattafa, from what I could remember, was slightly less than 10 hours. I believe it was more kind of like around that 8-hour mark or so. But I mean, again, 8 hours, 10 hours, I mean, that's still going to be all day for most people. So, you know, again, I don't think you're going to be, you know, disappointed with the performance on either one. But again, this one does definitely perform a little bit better in terms of longevity. Now, for the projection, that's where I would say these are about the same. They project about the same. Definitely, you're going to get over an arm's length, I would say, for at least like the first 2 hours or so, 2+ hours. And then, you know, it is going to kind of dial back a little bit, but they are very strong performing fragrances, each one of them. All right. Now, as far as my closeness rating on this, the Urban Man Elixir, to me, I would say outside of that, you know, slight difference that you get in the initial opening spray, this, for the most part, I would say is probably like 97, 98% close to the Male Elixir. Like, it's extremely close for sure. And then in terms of my just overall rating on this one I would say it's a 9.5 out of 10, man. I do really enjoy this one a lot. Like I said, I'm not sure exactly which one I'm going to keep. I'm kind of leaning towards keeping this one because, for one, I really, again, like the sprayer on this bottle a lot more than I do the Lattafa. And then also, I mean, it's not like either bottle is like the best looking one, but to me, I prefer this bottle, the way that it looks, a little bit more than what I do the Lattafa. This just looks extremely cheap. So, you know, that's my opinion at least, but I am kind of leaning more towards keeping the Urban Man Elixir from Fragrance World. Fragrance World just does a really good job on, you know, just about all of the, you know, interpretations that I've smelled from them, especially when comparing, you know, interpretations from other houses like Lattafa or Paris Corner. It just always seems like Fragrance World seems to have like the best out of all of them, you know, in most cases. So yeah, man, definitely. I do really enjoy this one a lot. And you know, if I'm going to give this one, you know, like I said, a overall rating, this would easily be like a 9.5 out of 10. All right. So that is my take on Fragrance World's Urban Man Elixir. Definitely let me know in the comments what you all think about Urban Man Elixir. And, you know, also, have you all smelled Urban Man Elixir? Have you all smelled the Kingdom? Have you all smelled the other, you know, interpretations like the Rayhan version or even the new Rasasi? And which one of these do you think is actually, you know, the best or the closest to the original from Jean Paul Gaultier? All right. Let me know in the comments below. Also, I'll have links in the description to where you can purchase this fragrance. And also, if you're brand new to the channel, do me a favor, go ahead and subscribe. And again, that's Jamar from Vegas Scents. I'll see you on the next video.